Basketball is an exciting new basketball Welcome to the BMBA podcast, which airs every Monday at 7 p.m. A podcast where we share all the news, information, updates and events that is happening around the BMBA. If you're a current BMBA participant or a potential one, then this podcast is for you. BMBA Basketball is an exciting new basketball program providing new and innovative concepts and structures for junior basketballers through their training, coaching and games.
Our games are played at the magnificent Stonnington Sports Centre located next door to the Chadstone Shopping Centre. These courts are modern, have great temperature control and have fantastic facilities to host junior basketball matches. Our kids are now enjoying playing at this magnificent venue. On top of that, they are also enjoying the new features and concepts of junior BMBA matches. Features and concepts not seen before in junior matches in Melbourne. These features include a fully timed 60-minute match schedule, where the game clock stops on every whistle. This means there is no wasted time and our juniors get to play every minute of their match. Our juniors are also enjoying playing with a shot clock in each of their games. This provides another unique and exciting aspect to our junior matches.
This podcast will provide parents of our junior boys and girls, or parents of potential participants, with all the information they need to maximize that participation. It will also allow them to ask questions directly to us through the chat function of the podcast. So whether you are a current parent, a potential new parent, a representative from a club, school or another basketball program, we look forward to engaging with you each Monday at 7 p.m. Welcome to the BMBA podcast, which airs every Monday at 7 p.m. A podcast where we share all the news, information, updates and events that is happening around the BMBA. If you're a current BMBA participant or a potential one, then this podcast is for you. BMBA Basketball is an exciting new basketball program providing new and innovative concepts and structures for junior basketballers through their training, coaching and games.
Our games are played at the magnificent Stonnington Sports Centre located next door to the Chadstone Shopping Centre. These courts are modern, have great temperature control and have fantastic facilities to host junior basketball matches. Our kids are now enjoying playing at this magnificent venue. On top of that, they are also enjoying the new features and concepts of junior BMBA matches. Features and concepts not seen before in junior matches in Melbourne. These features include a fully timed 60-minute match schedule, where the game clock stops on every whistle. This means there is no wasted time and our juniors get to play every minute of their match. Our juniors are also enjoying playing with a shot clock in each of their games. This provides another unique and exciting aspect to our junior matches.
This podcast will provide parents of our junior boys and girls, or parents of potential participants, with all the information they need to maximize that participation. It will also allow them to ask questions directly to us through the chat function of the podcast. So whether you are a current parent, a potential new parent, a representative from a club, school or another basketball program, we look forward to engaging with you each Monday at 7 p.m. Welcome to the BMBA podcast, which airs every Monday at 7 p.m. A podcast where we share all the news, information, updates and events that is happening around the BMBA. If you're a current BMBA participant or a potential one, then this podcast is for you. BMBA Basketball is an exciting new basketball program providing new and innovative concepts and structures for junior basketballers through their training, coaching and games.
Our games are played at the magnificent Stonnington Sports Centre located next door to the Chadstone Shopping Centre. These courts are modern, have great temperature control and have fantastic facilities to host junior basketball matches. Our kids are now enjoying playing at this magnificent venue. On top of that, they are also enjoying the new features and concepts of junior BMBA matches. Features and concepts not seen before in junior matches in Melbourne. These features include a fully timed 60-minute match schedule, where the game clock stops on every whistle. This means there is no wasted time and our juniors get to play every minute of their match. Our juniors are also enjoying playing with a shot clock in each of their games. This provides another unique and exciting aspect to our junior matches.
This podcast will provide parents of our junior boys and girls, or parents of potential participants, with all the information they need to maximize that participation. It will also allow them to ask questions directly to us through the chat function of the podcast. So whether you are a current parent, a potential new parent, a representative from a club, school or another basketball program, we look forward to engaging with you each Monday at 7 p.m. Welcome to the BMBA podcast, which airs every Monday at 7 p.m. A podcast where we share all the news, information, updates and events that is happening around the BMBA. If you're a current BMBA participant or a potential one, then this podcast is for you. BMBA Basketball is an exciting new basketball program providing new and innovative concepts and structures for junior basketballers through their training, coaching and games.
Our games are played at the magnificent Stonigan Sports Centre located next door to the Chadstone Shopping Centre. These courts are modern, have great temperature control and have fantastic facilities to host junior basketball matches. Our kids are now enjoying playing at this magnificent venue. On top of that, they are also enjoying the new features and concepts of junior BMBA matches. Features and concepts not seen before in junior matches in Melbourne. These features include a fully timed 60-minute match schedule, where the game clock stops on every whistle. This means there is no wasted time and our juniors get to play every minute of their match. Our juniors are also enjoying playing with a shot clock in each of their games. This provides another unique and exciting aspect to our junior matches.
This podcast will provide parents of our junior boys and girls, or parents of potential participants, with all the information they need to maximize that participation. It will also allow them to ask questions directly to us through the chat function of the podcast. So whether you are a current parent, a potential new parent, a representative from a club, school or another basketball program, we look forward to engaging with you each Monday at 7 p.m. Welcome to the BMBA podcast, which airs every Monday at 7 p.m. A podcast where we share all the news, information, updates and events that is happening around the BMBA. If you're a current BMBA participant or a potential one, then this podcast is for you. BMBA Basketball is an exciting new basketball program providing new and innovative concepts and structures for junior basketballers through their training, coaching and games.
Our games are played at the magnificent Stonigan Sports Centre located next door to the Chadstone Shopping Centre. These courts are modern, have great temperature control and have fantastic facilities to host junior basketball matches. Our kids are now enjoying playing at this magnificent venue. On top of that, they are also enjoying the new features and concepts of junior BMBA matches. Features and concepts not seen before in junior matches in Melbourne. These features include a fully timed 60-minute match schedule, where the game clock stops on every whistle. This means there is no wasted time and our juniors get to play every minute of their match. Our juniors are also enjoying playing with a shot clock in each of their games. This provides another unique and exciting aspect to our junior matches.
This podcast will provide parents of our junior boys and girls, or parents of potential participants, with all the information they need to maximize that participation. It will also allow them to ask questions directly to us through the chat function of the podcast. So whether you are a current parent, a potential new parent, a representative from a club, school or another basketball program, we look forward to engaging with you each Monday at 7 p.m. Welcome to the BMBA podcast.
Yeah, hello everyone. Sorry, got a crazy dog here at the moment. Welcome to my podcast. Haven't got anyone, I don't think we've got anyone on at the moment, or do we? We might have. I'll have a quick look. I've got to double check that it's working. On another podcast I do in a separate business, I was talking for 90 minutes. My dog's going nuts. He always goes nuts when I'm talking to the screen. Probably thinks I'm crazy. He's sitting down now. That's good. I want to just check my audio and voice. Bear with me for a minute. Sorry, I had something else happening, which is why I'm on a few minutes late, not too late. So if you were watching, thank you for being patient. Where am I? Live. Yeah. Beautiful. There we go. So that's all working. Live chat's up, so all good to go. I've sent everyone an invite. This is a special episode of the BMBA podcast designed for all you parents. I sent invites out to for our potential BMBA under 12 rep team. Now, I don't have anyone on yet. So what I'm going to do, and I may not get anyone on, that's fine. This was all designed, this podcast, to give everyone a chance for a Q&A if they needed it. But what I'm going to do is just quickly go through the email, and then I can share this, and I'll cover off as much as I can from that email. So, and hopefully we'll answer any questions you may have, because we do need to get going on a team entry if we are going to be entering into these competitions at Dandenong. So if you're just following me via the YouTube channel, you might have gotten on there and got the link. You can send me a message through on my chat that I can answer questions in. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is read out that email and probably go through it in a bit more detail. Inbox, there we go. And there, oh, have I got it? Sorry, guys. Yes, I do. So I'll get my, oh, here we go. We've got, oh no, that's just my share screen. Thought I had someone else jumping on board, but no, it's just my share screen. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to split the page. Oh, that didn't work. Let's try this one. Yeah, that's not really working either. Let's go make myself really small. There we go, in the corner. So we'll go through this, and if somebody jumps on, feel free to, I'll get the notification and we'll get the Q&A going. But in the meantime, I'll read through this email. So, dear parents, I'm excited to invite your son to join the under-12 boys representative squad for the BMBA Templar Warriors. We currently have an under-14 boys representative squad playing at the extremely strong Dandenong Basketball Association. Whilst their first season has been challenging, to say the least, they are improving with every week and competing strongly. That season is now coming to an end, and we have the opportunity to enter further representative teams in these strong Dandenong competitions. I've identified Son as having the potential to help form an under-12 boys team that will also be able to compete strongly in these competitions. So just quickly to explain that, so we don't cause confusion, we do a different version of rep ball. So right now, we are not an affiliated association of Basketball Victoria. To play in the Friday night Victoria Junior League competitions, you have to be a affiliated association, which we're not. There's a bit of a history behind that, so I won't bore you to death with that, but there's a bit of a fight we'll have to undergo to try and get that affiliation. So what we are doing, and I love rep ball, okay? But there's rep ball and then there's rep ball. So in rep ball, if you don't understand it, there's about, oh God, anything from 10 to 15 divisions of competitions on Friday nights. Sorry, just wrapping up a bit of a mess here. And your top division is Victorian Championship. So this will help you with that booklet I gave out in the divisions. Then you have Victoria Junior League 1, Victoria Junior League 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then after about 6, it goes into what they call development regions or leagues. I don't know the name for it now. I used to go like down to Victoria Junior League 10. So now they regionalise it all, and you play in these regional competitions if you're not in one of those top 6 teams. For the want of a better description, there's rep ball where you get in and you play in a 1 or 2s team and you play at the highest levels. So Victorian Championship or Victoria Junior League 1 or 2, that would be the best divisions to play in it. And anything below that gets the tag of glorified domestic. And when you get below, I would say Division 5, that's exactly what it is. It's glorified domestic. So you all get your uniforms, you're playing there, you spend a lot of money, you travel all over Melbourne. But at the end of the day, it's just the equivalent of a high standard domestic competition, and sometimes not even that. So, you know, there is rep ball and then there's rep ball. If you form, in my book, if you form and join with the best players out of your domestic competitions and go play in any form of competition, you're a representative team, whether that is the Basketball Victoria competitions or like we are currently doing out of the Dandenong Basketball Association. So the Dandenong Basketball Association, they have 2 divisions. The best 2 divisions are called Premier League and A grade. If you're in other competitions, you might be in Div 1, 2, 3, 4. You might have A reserve, whatever. But I can tell you now, as a rep coach of well over 36 years, the competitions at Dandenong are the equivalent of Victoria Junior League 1 or 2 in the Premier League, and probably about Victoria Junior League 3 in the A grade, maybe even a bit higher. There is an awful lot of academies and bigger clubs with rep standard coaches and players playing in it. And if we can make those grades, it is going to be better than most Victoria Junior League competitions that you would play in on a Friday night, except we're going to be playing them all under the one banner at pretty much the one venue at Dandenong Basketball Stadium. We picked Dandenong because we played for a number of seasons at Sandringham, but there was a number of issues we had at Sandringham, and also their standard is not great. They have a lot of teams, but their standard's not great. At Dandenong, their standard is fantastic on a number of fronts, in the competition level, coaching level, especially in the higher grades, not so much the lower grades, and in the standard of officiating. It's just chalk and cheese at Dandenong compared to what we used to get at Sandringham, for example, especially, again, if you get in those top divisions. The administration is also very good to work with. And so far, we haven't enjoyed huge success there, but we've enjoyed our time there. So it certainly is challenging, and that's exactly what I want for the boys. I don't want them to walk into another low domestic competition where they're going to just win games but not be challenged. I mean, any coach, any full coach can do that. I can put these kids into Division F and we can go win. We want to play high. We started high this year. Sadly, we dropped, more to do with an age thing than anything else. But like next year, the under-14s, we want to get them into at least A grade and start a stepping stone to get into the Premier competition there, where we can legitimately say we're playing a rep level of basketball. So that's our goal. And on top of that, we go into junior tournaments as well. So though we're not technically playing rep ball, we are playing rep ball. You know, we've got a representative team playing in a very high level of competition, and we're going to be working through the different competitions to get our teams in. Now, for this under-12 boys team, I don't think there's any chance of us making, for example, the Premier League or A grade in our first year. That's something we're going to have to aim for in under-14. So our key thing in our first couple of seasons is to learn the game, get the skills of the game, learn how to play together as a team, and how to be successful as a team. That's our goal in our first couple of seasons. Nearly all my teams have their most success in their second year with me. At that time, they've got the skills, they're learning the offense, they know their roles, and we start to click as a team. And then our team concepts outweigh any lack of athleticism or size against bigger and more athletic teams, if that makes sense. So, and the way we play, it's a noticeable brand. People know our style of basketball when we get it right. And for example, in the under-14s, we're pretty close. And some of them have been with me for less than just this season. Some have been with me for longer. It's been a bit of a mix, but now we're getting a team that's playing regularly every week. And they're about to go into this weekend, their second rep tournament of the season, which I'll go into in a minute. Anyway, back into the email. Our ultimate goal is to have a team in each age group drawn from our domestic competitions and games at Stonington Sports Centre. So at Stonington at the moment, we've got the under-12 intra-club games and we've got the under-14 intra-club games. Our goal is obviously to grow those games into competitions, whether they're all BMBA teams, whether they're kids from other clubs from around the region. It doesn't really matter. But every kid that comes into our domestic competition, if they're not already playing rep ball, would be eligible to play in a representative team in the Dandenong Basketball Association. So we're hoping in a couple of years, we've got teams in under-12s, 14s, 16s and 18s in both the boys and girls and become a legitimate representative club. All right. I attached an introduction booklet that explains what our rep program is all about. I've just given you a quick rundown. This is an exciting and at the same time a challenging opportunity for your son to play with and against players of a higher caliber, which will then elevate their capabilities. So when you first take up rep ball, it is exciting for the kids. They get the new uniform. If they haven't already got one, they go into a new competition. They're playing alongside very good players against other players. So the excitement's all there to begin with. But then, the grind starts. So to play against these best opposition, to learn how to win, you've got to put a lot of work into your game. For example, if you don't have a left hand, you've got to develop a left hand. If you can't handle the ball, you've got to learn how to handle the ball. If you don't know what cuts are in the game, you've got to learn those cuts, how to set a screen, how to work together as a team in sets, how to work as a team together defensively. One of the big issues we've had this year, because no coaches in domestic seem to teach out how to box out and rebound, we just don't out-rebound bigger teams because we don't box out. It's been a huge issue for under 14s. So we're slowly getting better now. So we've had to put a whole season of work into this. We've got a lot more work to do. But we are getting better, and our results are showing that in the defensive end more so than the offensive end. So there is a lot of work. There's a lot of grind. But that, as I'll get to later, is very much a, a personal development thing. They learn the value of hard work, and any success that comes their way is going to come as a result of that hard work. And those lessons the boys and girls get through their junior sport will carry over later into their adult lives. And that one of the best things I ever had was a reunion with a boys team I had in 2015 who made Victorian Championship. And those boys, we did not have the talent, the ability, the athletic ability that a lot of other teams did, but we ended up in the top grade in the state, and we competed even with the very best teams. There was one game we had at GSAC against Nunawading. It was slaughtering everyone, and we lost by 3 points. Should have won the game. And we had a reunion with all those boys, and those boys were putting in probably 2 to 3 sessions a week, 2 games a week. They were down GSAC nonstop. GSAC was our home court back then. And they really worked for not 1 year, but like for 6. And every one of those boys has gone on to university, gone on to graduate, get good jobs. Those who didn't go to university have got good paying jobs. They've all landed on their feet. Couldn't be any prouder of a group of boys than what I was of those boys and am of those boys. So it gives you life lessons. And I think everything that we do out of the sport, one of the most important things we can pass on is some life lessons. And look, I'm going to be upfront and honest for those who haven't had me before. I am not the easiest coach to play under at times. I'm a passionate coach. I can be a great coach to play under, but I also can be a challenging coach to play under. The more the boys listen, the more they work hard, the more they learn. I'm a great coach. If they don't put the time and effort in, I'm a challenging coach. If you want to understand what challenging is, I won't go over that actually, I might go over it a little bit later. It's nothing nasty or anything. And the one thing I think I do all the time is I always communicate with both parents and players. So it's not anything real nasty, though some people sometimes look at me and think, what the hell am I doing? So anyway, we'll get into that maybe a little bit later. So, can't remember what I mean. Sorry, guys, just give me a tick. Nearly forgot. Our ultimate goal is to have a team in here. While not the typical, I've gone over this, Basketball Victoria representative competition, it is rep ball nonetheless. And the good news, and this is the very good news, is there's far less travel involved in this version. To get this team up, we need 7 boys and their families commit to this. If we can't get those numbers, we can always start in the following summer season that the boys ultimately miss a season of development, which would be a pity, as I believe there is potential for quite a talented team to evolve from the boys that we have identified. So far, we've had one boy come back and say yes, and we've had one boy come back and say no. So we've put out invites, I think it was to 7 players. So if we end up, say, with 5 or 6 saying yes, we'll definitely put out the feelers to try and recruit a couple more in. It's important. I think, sorry, just lost track of thought here. I'm trying to do something with what's going on here. It's important, sorry. It's important, I think, to understand, how do I phrase this? I think it's important. I think of getting into a rep program, a development program that's going to encourage your son or daughter, for those who have daughters, as early as you possibly can. You can do it later. It just makes it harder. And to create, like I said, it usually takes 12 months. My second year is usually better. If we can get these boys, and we're looking at most of these boys being top age under 12s, they'll be bottom age in the next 12 months. And where they'll really hopefully click in is where they're top age under 14, which is great. I mean, the problem with rep ball too much is in most rep clubs, they go to a tryout. If they get invited to a team, they're thrown in with kids they don't know. They're given a coach for 12 months. He or she is only worried about winning. Then they go to the next tryouts, and that whole team can change. And then they have another coach, and they have another structure. They have another offense. They have another defense. They got to start all over again. And that just keeps repeating and repeating and repeating. At the BMBA, that does not happen. We have a program in place. We have a legitimate structure. The kids are given their roles on reward. Every skill, so for example, on ball handling, shooting, offense, triple threats, we test them on that. So they can dribble the ball up and down the court when they acquire the appropriate skill level. They can shoot an outside jump shot when they acquire the appropriate skill level. They can get more roles the more they understand our offense and defense. So it's real. The balls are really in their court. If we find a coach who's not honouring those achievements, that coach will be in a bit of trouble. So all our coaches who get paid, they have the responsibility of putting our program in place. So that makes it a little bit different because we're a company. These will be employees, these coaches, and they part of their job. What do you call them? KPIs. I had to think about that for a moment. Will be to make sure they put our program in place and they're not bringing left field ideas. So they're doing their job in under 12s, top age, bottom age to prepare them for under 14 things. So the teams, I won't say they'll all come through together, but the sooner they get in, it's like the Australian cricket team in a way. Once you're in there, it's harder to get out. And there's a reason for that is because if there's 8 boys that come together early, or even let's say 6 or 7, and they learn all the offense and the roles and whatever, and then a new boy comes in training, it's very hard to slot that new boy unless he's very talented into that team to get them to fit and learn their roles. If there's 8 boys there already, you've got your team, you're ready to go, everyone's comfortable. It's a very hard thing to break into. So for that one, that's one of the reasons. The other part is your child's confidence is going to increase the more they play at a hard level against better players. So, if they come into a strange environment to begin with, it just makes it very much harder. So if there's already 6 boys, again, who've been playing at Dandenong, playing in a higher grade, and then your son comes in later, they're going to have a few confidence issues. One, not letting their team down, not being up to the level of their mates, and struggling with the level of the competition they come on. It can be quite overwhelming. So we don't say no to that. There's obviously been plenty of players we've brought in over the years that have been quite successful in the long run, but it does make the journey a bit harder. So the sooner we can get the boys going, the sooner we can get them comfortable playing this level. Like my under 14 boys, they've gone through a grind this year. A lot of them have played out of their age group. They've had to play against much bigger and stronger opposition, and they've had to have learned how to beat that opposition together as a team. That's not something you learn overnight. That takes, like with my under 14s, it's taken for some of them 6 months of grind, for others a lot longer. But I think we've finally got 8 boys who are starting to come together as a group who understand the offense and really want to play at the next level, and that's half your battle. So the sooner you start that journey, the sooner you get to the spot you want to get to, if that makes sense. So, let's get back to that email. Sorry. You should also, now this next paragraph I want to explain, it's not really a threat, it's just the fact of life. You should also know that the BMBA has started to grow, which we have, and it is our intention, my intention, to not only continue that growth, but to expand on it. That's definitely one of our goals over the next 2 years. So your son has a really golden opportunity here to get on the ground floor and be part of it from the very start. That means that for those who don't grab this chance when it presents itself, may see it go to another player who walks through our Stonington doors in the coming months. Like I've said, I say this as many players and families in the past do not take up this opportunity I missed to do there in the past, and they then see others grab it and enjoy the development it provides and then regret it all later. God, I should have worked that better. So that's actually, again, a very valid point. I'm not saying that as, a threat or trying to convince you in there. I'm just putting across what's actual factual. So we hope all the boys, we hope we can form a team now. And if you do pass it up, just be aware, there's more boys that are going to walk through my door. I'm going to invite them as I've done for you. So I apologise if I piled it on. I'm going to invite those boys into a squad. So if we get a team up this winter season, great. If we don't, we'll just keep going on as we're doing. But I definitely want to get a group going that we're building towards entering a team as a rep team in this Dandenong competition, either this season or the following season. So if your son doesn't take that up, that's fine. Totally understand that. But just understand that as soon as another boy comes in, we'll be grabbing that boy, inviting him in, and if they, well, eventually we'll get 8 boys that accept those invitations, and they'll be off and running as a group. It then becomes much harder because if we can't fit your son into that team, we have to form another team. And then we've got to find another 8 boys. So be careful is what I would say. So I think it would be negligent of me not mentioning that and not making you aware of it. So it's not a threat, it's just making you aware of what ultimately is the situation. And I've seen this happen so many times before when we've handed out invites and then parents and players come back later with some regret that they didn't take it when they could have. So please be careful the way you read that. As I said, if we don't get the 7 boys required, we can continue to scout and recruit until we do. In other words, if, for example, we have 5 boys, we would still form them into a squad. And once we have the required number of players, we would then begin to arrange them into a team for entry into adequate competitions at the earliest possible time. So, for example, if we miss, while 7 players are the minimum, sorry, I finished that paragraph, number of players to enter a team into competition, we can ultimately fit in up to 9 players into a squad. This year in the under-14s, for example, we had 9 players, and you always have players unavailable through school commitments, injuries, sickness. Last week, for example, out of 9 players, we had 6 available. So it can vary as you go through a season. But we are willing to enter a team with 6. I said 7, but, if we get 6, we'll look at it because we're pretty confident we can recruit another one down. We'll just be asking that 6 to commit to those games so everyone gets their game. So, if there's a clash, for example, with others playing, if we've got low numbers, sadly, you're just going to have to commit to this rep team and the game at Dandenong. Hopefully, for most of our kids, not that many clashes. For others, there are. Our priority's got to be us, obviously, but we do what we can to help you out with the other game. We don't try and give ultimatums like other clubs do, okay? A big part of our culture is to give the kids a second game. Ultimately, our games become the priority as we go forward. So we might say miss out on this Dandenong season, but there's tournaments that come up. So even though we miss out on the season, we might get another couple of boys that join in after the cutoff date for the season. We'd put them in with that rep squad, and at their first opportunity, we would enter them into a tournament, or we would try and get practice games against other clubs. And we would then start playing them in these games on a regular basis until we can get them into a legitimate competition. So again, be careful that you don't miss out. Once a team is established, we would also look to enter them into tournaments like our current under-14 boys team. They played in the recent Eltham Dandenong tournament, and they did extremely well. We played against 5 rep teams. We smashed one by about 20 points. We lost to all the rest of them only just. We probably could have won every game, and we missed out in finals by percentage. So we're very unlucky. And this week we're going to be playing in another tournament called the Southeast Junior Basketball Tournament. Oh, God, I've screwed that up. God, Sorry, guys. Because of my IT issues last week, I was rushing to get this email out, and it shows. All of which are exciting events for the boys to play in. The kids do love tournaments, especially if you do well in them. And we've been fortunate to do very well in a number of our tournaments. 2 years ago, we played in the Eltham Dandenong. This one we're playing in this week, the Southeast Junior Basketball Tournament, and in the Ballarat Tournament. And in all three tournaments, we made the grand final. In all three tournaments, we lost the grand final. We also lost grand finals at domestic that year. I think was 3. So I felt like a Collingwood coach. We kept making grand finals and losing. But it was fantastic. We had a great year. The parents bonded. And we're looking forward to the first tournament where we enter multiple teams. We did that once before, 2 years ago at the Dandenong tournament. We entered with an under-12 boys team and an under-18 boys team, and both teams made their grand finals. Both teams lost their grand finals. So, like I said, the last tournament we played in was the Eltham Dandenong on the Australia Day weekend, in which we didn't make the finals, but we were very close. I'm hoping from this point onwards, though, the boys are going to do quite well. I'm quietly confident we're set, but sometimes when I'm quietly confident, the wheels fall off a bit. So I'm crossing my fingers that confidence not misplaced. We'll see. In regards to commitment, it is effectively adding one more weekly game onto what the boys are doing with the odd tournament over a weekend. So once the boys begin, they will normally engage themselves in a greater commitment as time progresses, because the boys are going to play in these better competitions against better players, and they're going to naturally want to get better, and that entails more training. So we do encourage the boys and their parents to engage in that. We don't make it compulsory because we think it's more powerful if they choose to do so. All our rep kids are entitled under their fees to 2 training sessions of 90 minutes per week. So that's 2 basketball plus sessions. If you do 2 of those per week, you're going to improve pretty dramatically in a 12-month period. Most players will receive at their other clubs, if they're domestic, probably 1 45-minute session per week where they're not taught a great deal. Our boys, if they choose to do so, can obtain 4 times that amount with far more knowledgeable coaches working through a tried and tested development program, which has delivered outstanding results in the past and which we intend to deliver well into the future. So if you looked at that booklet, I mean, when we say our program's tried and tested, the program we're teaching over in the booklet, I only put my time in as the Oakley Basketball Association manager when we were playing in VJBL competitions. We had, in 4 or 5 years, we had 6 teams make Victorian Championship. We won Metro 1, we won Metro 2. We were playing at the top levels, qualifying for the top grades and winning in those competitions. And we also had our first state player towards the end. I won't go over why we can. If you ever come to tournaments, we're all sharing a beer. I'll share the story about the demise of Oakley, one of the saddest things I've had to endure in my lifetime, but not worth crying over spilt milk. It's now time for the BMBA Warriors instead. But at both McKinnon Basketball Association, when McKinnon was only very small, for those who don't know who were involved at McKinnon, I started that association with 5 boys in the backyard. That's how far back I go. And we achieved outstanding success at both McKinnon and Oakley through the same program we're putting in place now. That program, excuse me for a bit, my dog wants to go outside. JJ, be good. JJ, I've got to be careful with my dog because I get a few complaints from the neighbours when he barks. He's a German Shepherd, so he barks at anything. Where was I? Sorry about that. Yeah, so oh, God. What have I done? I've just pressed the wrong button. Sorry. Okay, hold on. JJ, inside. Welcome to my world. I don't know how many of you got dogs, especially German Shepherds, but you can't go out there without barking at something, whether it's a plane, a helicopter, a bird or something. Yeah, my next door neighbours love it. My other neighbours hate it. So I've got to be careful with him. Where was I saying? Yes, our program is tried and tested. I know the whole thing works, especially over a period of time. I'm very passionate about putting it in place. And the more kids we get into the program across the age groups, the better it will work. Because some of our boys are top age, some are bottom age. So most of the boys are top age, so they will go into under 14s after 12 months. But some of the boys are bottom age, so they'll stay in under 12s. So we need that other group in, say, under 10s coming through, top age under 10s to play with the bottom age under 12s. Same with the under 14s and 16s. So we're going to keep adding on players. And the program, once it's up and running and we've got the adequate training sessions, which we do, and the committed players, which I hope we do, then success is only a matter of time. So we'll definitely get that way. I will try one night on our BMBA podcast to get some former players on board to reminisce about their own times and about what we achieved at some stage. You can have a bit of a look at it. But anyway, time to get back into that email. The boys can get, we would definitely want a minimum of one training run a week, which they're already doing. So that's no problem. They've got to play their domestic game on the Friday night, and then they play their rep game on the Saturday. You can't have the rep ball without the domestic. So the domestic is an absolute requirement for the boys to be able to play in the rep like at any other association. But we would encourage them to take advantage of the 2 training times on offer. There's no extra cost on this. So just being on rep, we know to be committed, they need to get the 2 sessions in a week. So that is all a part of your fee. And the fees actually, which I'll go through later, end up being cheaper than if you just did a training program plus games. Okay? So you'll see why for that in a minute. On Tuesday night, I encourage you to read the attached booklets. Hopefully you've all done that. I will need an answer from everybody by no later than this Friday. So if you can let me know at the game on Friday at latest, because team entries are now open, but they will close soon. Like I said before, I know some of you have only just joined us, so my apologies for bringing this onto you all so suddenly, but we have only recently had a number of players join the BMBA program that make this rep squad a possibility. I don't look at a rep squad unless I've got 7 players I know I can develop, minimum. Like I said, we might exempt that to 6, into a rep team over the next 2 years or so. I don't want to put kids into this sort of level of play unless we can be competitive and build confidence. The window to make this happen for the winter season is only limited, like I think in the next week or 2. So I wanted to make sure I gave interested boys at least the opportunity to take advantage of it. I did mean to get this email to you during the last week, but sadly, I've had IT issues. I've been backing up websites, can't send or receive emails. I've had to bounce a bunch of things. My websites, I've got a bunch of them for work. So it's taking forever. It's been going for 4 days now. It's on the verge of finishing tonight, I'm hoping. Got my emails back up and running. So it's been one of those weeks. So, but like I said, I just wanted to roll the dice. If you want to call it that, rolling the dice probably is not a good term. I wanted to have a crack and see if we could get this team up because I think there's a lot of value in it if we could. If we can't, like I said, we'll keep training the boys and we'll look at the next season or the next tournament. And that's the summary. I look forward to chatting to you about this exciting opportunity for your son. If you can't make the live stream, blah, 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 blah. So one thing that hasn't mentioned, so I'll get my ugly mug up here again, is the fees. And what I will do is I will get a file up just to give you a comparison. Probably better if you see it. Now, the important thing you remember is that our fees are based on, actually, got a better idea than that. Sorry, guys, I'll talk as I try and find this file. Our fees are based over or spread over 2 seasons. For example, just the Friday night games, we $10 a week. So that's roughly 90, and we charge this anyway. So there's roughly 9 terms. So that's $90 a term. So $180 of fees are embedded in those. You pay those fees anyway through your Basketball Plus or your Games Plus sessions. If you just did the Games Plus is a combination of your Basketball Plus training plus that $90 for the games. So your Basketball Plus training is $285 for the term plus $90 for the games, and that's $375. Okay. If you did that over 2 terms, you're looking at $750. We are charging we're charging $880 for the season, $440 per term. If you can pay the $880 straight up, much better. And that covers 2 terms. Now, the thing that's not in there is the game fees for Dandenong, which equates roughly, it cost us $1,500 per season. Sorry, guys, my computer's decided to go on a go slow. I don't know why it's doing it, but it's proved very annoying. Here we go. So if you add that on to your $750, that's $950. So we're saving about $70. That's if you do the one training run, right? You're saving about $70 from what you would normally pay to do all this. So we do try and subsidize it here a little bit as we go through. Now, sorry, I'll get this up on the live. I've just got the file up. Window, cost comparisons. So here it is here on, I'll just make sure you've got this on the stream. Yep. Okay, beautiful. I'll get back into that file. So at the top here, you've just got the Basketball Plus program, $285. The Friday night games, which you've got to play in $90. And then the Dandenong games. So this is a term fee. So it would be $200 a season. If we had 8 kids, that's roughly $1,600. So that would cover, your score sheet fees and some trophies at the end of the season. Doesn't even cover the coaches' fees that we would have in charge. So over a term, it's $475. All right. So that's already cheaper because we're going to be charging $880 for the season, which is roughly $440 the term. So there's a slight discount. If, though, you take advantage of the 2 training runs, that is the IDB basketball program, which is valued at $412.50. Now, what we do with the IDP, if your child, for example, just does the IDP and they do a second session, how do we get to that figure? Well, that's $285 and we give a 50% discount on the second session. So it's $285 plus 50% of that, which is $142.50, and that gives us $412.50. There's your $90 for the games. There's your $100 for Dandenong. So now it's becoming a considerable saving. So we're charging $440, and and don't forget, there's no other door entry. There's no score sheet fees unless we make finals. So now you're saving per term $162.50. For the season, that's far more. That's over $300. So it's entirely up to you in regards to what sort of program you put your son into. I would obviously, there's incentive for you to obviously get my mug back up here. To do helps your son, helps the team, helps everyone. But even if you opted for the one time a week, you're actually going to get a cheaper discounted, subsidized fee by a little bit. All right. So something's better than nothing in these days of cost of living. We do try and keep the cost to a minimum. You're getting far more value. So you're going to get, I know of rep clubs that don't even train for 90 minutes, which I think is absurd. If I'm being honest, to become a really good player at a really high level, you would need 2 team sessions of 90 minutes plus an individual session where you work on nothing but skills for 90 minutes. That's the key to getting to a really high level. We let people know about that, and when they're ready, they will jump on board. That's where we take this. Now, ultimately, there's also going to be other costs. So if you don't have a uniform, you would have to purchase one. There is going to be a uniform kit created over the next 12 months. So you guys are lucky. You buy the uniform, and then you can we'll sell that uniform kit as merchandise. So all we expect out of everyone is a uniform and a polo. But by the end of this year, there'll be bags or backpacks we're thinking of. So you purchase tracksuit pants, you can buy a training top that you can buy, socks that you can buy. We'll put merchandise out there. So basically the idea is obviously the club wants to make money, but obviously also as the kids get more and more, they want to show a bit of pride in their club. So it gives you a great opportunity to purchase. We might even get some beanies, for example. I'll need one for this bald head. Well, you can buy just a present that reflects the Warriors. Did I say president? A present for a birthday, Christmas gift, all that sort of thing. So we're definitely putting that at the end of this 12 months, that will become a kit. And we used to sell these kits at a discounted price at Oakley, where the kids got a bag, a hoodie. That's one thing I forgot. We're getting a new hoodie done. So we're getting a bag, a new polo done, a new hoodie done. Obviously, you've got your uniform. We have the reversible top. So if there's clashes, you just reverse the top. They're working out really well. And so the most important thing is to get your kids into a uniform. So the uniform plus the polo cost $140. All right, we'll see what the kit ultimately costs us. But for now, because we don't have a kit, you don't have to worry about it. So you get the opportunity to purchase that kit over time. The only other thing I can think of that is cost, and all these are pretty normal for a rep team, is obviously the fees for a tournament. So most tournaments cost you about $600. If you get 8 kids, it's slightly, what's $600 by 8, whatever that is. So it's roughly $90 per kid, $540, $100 per kid. So, and then you get 5 games, and if you're lucky, finals. So you get pretty good value for money out of doing that. But they're great to play, and they're great for development. You basically get 5 weeks worth of games in one weekend, and the kids can learn an awful lot. Even if they don't win any games, they can learn an awful lot from playing those tournaments, which is why we encourage them to get involved as much as we do. So there's a bunch of information for you to think of. Some of you have been with me for a while, so you get the idea on these. None of the boys, I don't think, have ever played in a tournament before. So it will be an exciting prospect for them. I think out of the 7 boys we've invited, they could definitely form a team. Out of those 7, we're down to 6. I'd like to get that 6 together and then try and recruit more as we come in, but we'll see how we go. I need answers by Friday if we are to get a team in by this season. If not, like I said, we'll just keep going as we are, keep grouping them like we did last week. You would have seen us group those across, but we will break those groups down again where we get that group of boys who we think can play rep ball together going forward, just training as a group as well. So that's why you see me training with my other trainee coaches at the moment. I'm trying to get them so we can break our groups down even further. At the moment, we've got the kids first. We've got a beginner basketball plus, and there's my advanced basketball plus. But we want to break that down to where we have an under 12 rep basketball plus group as well, if that makes sense. So I've been going on now for 49 minutes. I think that's enough. If you've got any questions, I haven't had any sent through. I don't think I've got anyone on the feed, so it's just me, myself, and the dog. Hopefully this helps. I'll publish it to WhatsApp, and hopefully I'll see you all on Friday night. There'll be nothing on Saturday, so just make sure you're there Friday. Long weekend. We've got the tournament, so there's no training this Saturday. And we will see you either on Friday or during the week next week. Okay. Look forward to getting all your responses. Bye for now.